Hi and welcome to Westpac London's end of day markets report for Thursday the 15th of September. Positive equity market sentiment actually continued in the early part of the European session I think the fact that there was no fresh bad news emanating out of Greece, the fact that we've heard favourable noises from EU politicians, senior politicians such as Merkel and Sarkozy, who seem to be very good at telling markets what they want to hear rather than really telling markets what is generally going to happen. And what is going to happen, of course, is ultimately a debt restructure of Greece and probably Portugal and Ireland as well. But for the time being, at least, markets have got their head in the sand a bit about that, it seems, and have managed to put on several days now of gains. And it was helped along by the news in the afternoon part of the London session that the ECB, in conjunction with the Fed, the Swiss National Bank, the Bank of Japan and the Bank of England, would provide in three separate operations US dollar liquidity to European banks. This is in response to concerns that the banks which are perceived to have problem exposures related to Greece and other governments in Europe, concerns that those banks have been losing access to funding markets. And that provided a further boost to equity market sentiment. So heading into the close, European markets are up, well, for FTSE's up 2.2%, the French market, sorry, up 2.8%, and the German market up 2.9%. We had the news that UBS has been the victim of a rogue trader. A 31-year-old guy actually been arrested in London in relation to that. That's a breaking news story. Haven't got full details of that yet. But certainly something worth keeping an eye on as well. On the data flow today, not particularly flash data out of the UK. We saw a decline in retail sales in the month of August, although it could have been weaker given that rioting disrupted retail activity quite substantially in the middle of the month. We had the mixed data out of the US with a surprise gain in industrial production in the month of August, but generally weaker than expected business surveys out of the Philadelphia and New York regions for September, and also a jump in weekly unemployment insurance claims, which is an indication that possibly the labour market is turning somewhat softer. The CPI in the US showed a steady core rate at 0.2%, but ongoing pressures coming from gasoline and food prices. US markets traded in positive territory for most of the day today, following on from the positive European session, although as I speak some of the gains have been washed off somewhat. The Dow's currently up 0.9% at 11,342. Broader S&P measure is up 0.7% and the Nasdaq's up 0.5%, and that's obviously still with a good 4 hours or more of trading still to go. On commodity markets, we've seen the gold price fall quite sharply related to that coordinated ECB and other central bank action to provide US dollar liquidity. So the gold's down $47 an ounce, that's 2.5%, at around $1,779 an ounce at the moment. Crude oil is up though, about 0.75% at $89.60, and copper prices are up 1.1% today at 394 cents a pound. That's US cents a pound. The Aussie dollar is just back above 103. It's at 103.16 against the US dollar, benefiting a little bit from the positive equity market and commodity sentiment that's been creeping through today. That's about it for the report. Just keep bearing in mind that the European situation is not resolved and will not be resolved until the debt of Greece and some of the smaller sovereigns is substantially written off. All the rest is just band-aids and bandages that just to prolong the inevitable. On that note, I'll be back in 24 hours' time.